This is Chris with Texas Homeless Network. So this is your bi-monthly CoC lead call. We're going to start in just 1 second. So we're waiting for a couple more people to sign on. And then, so we'll start in just 1 minute. Hey guys, this is Chris Lindenberger with Texas Homeless Network. And thank you for calling in today for our bi-monthly CoC lead call. So we have some fun things we're going to talk about today. And we're trying a little bit different setup here. Down over here in Austin, we're actually all around the same table. We got a mic out. So if you're getting a little bit of feedback, just let us know. You can put it in the comments bar. And you can just kind of put the comments to the THN staff. So for now, we're going to get started. And we want this, of course, to be our time to kind of have a great discussion. First, I want to give you a little monthly meme. So, as I know some of you guys are feeling, it's still a little cold out there these days. It's been beautiful here in Austin recently, but even last week we got a ton of rain and it was still a little chilly. So, and I'm sure you guys over in El Paso are pretty chilly as well. So just welcome everybody, and I'll give it over to Ken in just a second so he can do a little bit of an intro and let everybody chime in, and then we are going to have a discussion around public policy that Ken will lead for us, kind of give us some updates, and then we have Peter Green. Oh man, I knew I was going to mess that up. Grind, my fault. Here with us today, and he's going to talk about our upcoming Homelessness Awareness Day that THN is putting on and kind of fill us in. And then we just have a little bit of time slated for any general follow-up around anything talked about today or over the last couple of months. So I'm going to hand it over to Ken to kind of do the welcome.
And welcome. I'm so glad that you all have logged on. I am seeing Nikki Paul from Austin, Camille Castillo from El Paso, Cindy Crane from Dallas, James Allen from Amarillo, Mario Puga from Fort Worth, right? Paula Maroney from Dallas, Sandra Hochler from Bryan College Station, Twin Cities Mission, Siobhan Moore from Dallas, and Terry Holtkamp from Waco. Thank you all for calling in. And before we get started, does anyone have a comment that you especially want to, or something that you especially want to talk about this morning or this afternoon? And Craig is unmuting you in case you do have something you want to talk about. I'm not hearing anything. So if you do think of something that you would like to have a brief chat about, please use the comments section to notify us that you will would like to talk about that. I want to give you an update on our public policy, since that seems to be taking up my entire world these days, and letting you kind of know what we're doing and what bills that we're looking at. We've got, I was just going over our bill tracking list. Let me back up a little bit. We were able to get a social work intern, a master's level social work intern this spring to help us with public policy, and it has been enormously helpful as we try to keep track of all these different bills that are funded through that have been filed in the legislature. So we've got Samantha is her name, and Samantha is actually attending a public policy meeting for me this afternoon, so I can update you all. But she is keeping a bill tracking list, and any of you who are interested in that, I'll be glad to share that with you. Just send me an email and I will shoot that over to you. But right now we're keeping an eye on about 50 different bills. Several of them are dealing with unaccompanied youth. Some of them are dealing with fair housing and other affordable housing issues. Several of them are veterans bills. There's criminal justice, bills relating to minimum wage. There's some healthcare bills relating to expansion of Medicaid, and more unaccompanied youth. And then there's some that we're looking at that are dealing with substance abuse and mental health. But we have prioritized 5 agenda items, and so we're really following closely all source of income protection bills, whether the bills are for or against source of income protection. We want to know all about that. For those of you who have not been following that closely, the source of income protection is an ordinance that the city of Austin enacted last year that says that landowners not landowners, but apartment owners, anyone who rents apartments or houses cannot discriminate against persons solely because of their source of income that they're paying for the rental property. So that, of course, is aimed mostly at housing choice vouchers, but it is also talking about of course, any of the vouchers that we have through the Continuum of Care system, the HUD-VASH vouchers, and so forth. So one of our big pushes is that we are saying this is a valuable tool to help in veteran homelessness and trying to get our foot in the door that way. So Austin enacted this ordinance, and immediately the Austin Apartment Association filed suit and to try to get that ordinance overturned. Bills were filed to overturn specifically source of income protection and make it where no municipality in Texas could enact an ordinance like that. And so it has been a really uphill battle. We've got the Texas Apartment Association, Apartment Owners Association against us, and the business leaders are against it also. So they are all for the bills that have been filed. There's also been some bills that are overarching that says that no municipality in Texas can enact any stricter ordinances than state law, or be more restrictive than state law. And those were aimed primarily at ordinances protecting LGBT folks from being discriminated against. However, it also affects for source of income protection. There is a lot of opposition to the larger bills, the overarching bills. Texas Municipal League, of course, is one of the main leaders in that fight, and of course the city mayors are against that ordinance also, or against that law being enacted. So we're working on source of income protections. The bill, Sandra, the bill number that we're dealing with in the Senate, it's SB 267, and in the House, it's House Bill 738. Then that's the one. Those are the two that we're following that are specifically about source of income protection. And then SB 343 is the Senate bill with the overarching legislation in it. And there is a House bill that's been filed as a companion to that, and I'm sorry. I think it's House Bill 1556. So just a really quick update. The Senate Bill 267 was heard in the which committee? It was heard in Business and Commerce Committee, and there were many people there to testify. I was one of them, and they passed it anyway. They did vote to pass the bill on to the full Senate. However, Senator Watson of Austin did get an amendment that exempts Austin or any municipality that enacted it before January 15th, 2015 that this bill would not pertain to them. And as far as I know, Austin is the only one who has, in Texas, who has done this. So it was scheduled to be heard on the floor of the Senate Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday midday, and they got hung up on SB 1, which is the appropriations bill, and I don't think they talked about much else that day. So we're still keeping an eye on it, and we will keep y'all informed. So that's the first of our 5 prioritized items. We're looking at veterans, unaccompanied youth, Medicaid expansion, and increased funding for the HHSP and other homeless programs. So that's our focus areas. The only other thing that has come up yet for committee hearing are there was a Senate hearing on a bill dealing with unaccompanied, dealing with foster youth that directs the Department of Family and Protective Services to provide actually more preparation for adult living for them, and it outlines what should be done. And I testified on that Wednesday morning, and will testify on the House version, which is House Bill 843 on Monday afternoon. So actually the 5 focuses are source of income protection, veterans, unaccompanied youth, Medicaid expansion, and increased funding for HHSP, which is the TDHCA's homeless housing and services program, and any other homeless programs. And like I said, we've had numerous visits with staff members on the source of income protection. We've started making visits on the youth bills since they have been referred to committee, and then we are actually, Samantha drafted and assembled 2 advocacy videos related to source of income protection, and the videos focus on 2 different arguments related to the source of income: housing discrimination and local control. I can make those available to you if you would like a copy of them. We should have actually shown them here. That would have been.
I can still bring that. It's on her video, I think. I can send it out with the materials today.
We can send them out. They're less than a minute each, I believe, and they're the whiteboard videos, and she did a really good job putting those together. So we've had some conversations with Sylvester Turner's office. He's a Houston legislator, and he's the one who filed the Senate bill, I believe, about homeless youth. It's the homeless youth study bill, and that is a bill to require that Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs conduct a study of homeless youth, and it outlines all the different focuses that should have. And we had a little problem with how they defined homeless youth. So we have talked to them about aligning the youth study bill to amend it to use the HUD definition, or to direct the study to include living situation as a way that we can easily determine who meets the HUD definition of homelessness and who meets the education definition of homelessness. So yeah, it's a big pain to try to deal with multiple definitions of homelessness in these kind of things. So I'm all for a united definition of homelessness, but that apparently is not going to happen anytime soon. We're also attending One Voice meetings and One Voice Central Texas meetings, and actually Samantha is meeting with the Public Policy Committee of One Voice Central Texas this afternoon. And that brings us up to well, actually, before we get to Peter, I'm going to also let you know that Samantha has been going to advocacy days with similar advocacy goals, such as Cover Texas Now, Medicaid Expansion Day, Young Invincible, Higher Education Day of Action, and National Association of Social Workers Advocacy Day. And she's learning there and spreading the word of what we're working on among those groups also. We are meeting on a weekly basis on the source of income protection, and that is a webinar meeting, so any of you who would like to be a part of that, please let me know, or better yet, let Craig know, or Samantha. Craig, Kraig @thn.org, or Samantha, just the way it's regularly spelled, @thn.org. And at this point, I think I'm going to turn it over to Peter, and he's going to talk to us about Homelessness Awareness Day next week.
Okay, hi, my name is Peter Grine. I'm the VISTA member serving with the Texas Homeless Network this year, and I'm going to very briefly talk about upcoming Homelessness Awareness Day, which THN is very, very excited about. And we're expecting it's going to be hopefully the best one and most successful Homelessness Awareness Day that THN has put on yet. It's going to be April 2nd, which is this week from today, and it will take place between 1 and 4 p.m. So the first thing I'm going to show you all are the materials that I and Samantha have put together that are going to be available on the THN website, and then also we're going to pass out at the actual event itself. So first, just to show you, you can go, if this is on the THN website, if you go to the advocacy page, and then you scroll down under policy priorities, you can see these links. These are all, they're a series of kind of infographics, maybe one-pagers, stuff like that, just informational pieces for both our advocates who are going to be participating, and then also for handing out to members of Congress. You can reach those exact same materials under the resources page, and then if you scroll down to advocacy resources and click, there you have them, 2015 legislative materials. So just to give you just kind of a sample of what those look like, here is a kind of a training slideshow that Samantha and I were responsible for. that includes a lot of, I think, really helpful material for people who may not have participated in these kinds of advocacy events before. So there's kind of general information about, how a legislative session functions, what advocates do, but it also has more specific information about what we're expecting of people to, what they're able to do on Homelessness Awareness Day. So we've already held a couple of webinars running through this module. And if you're interested in it, I really recommend looking at it. I think it is pretty successful in what it wants to do and has some really good information. Also, here's an example of an infographic that we've put together. This one focuses on how one would prepare for a face-to-face meeting with a member of Congress. So just tried to be very specific, giving nice bullet points. It's based on information that's published by other national organizations. So just to keep people so they don't feel like they're going in without any information about how those kinds of meetings should function. And then last, I have an example of a one-pager that we've put together to hand out. This one focuses on bills that affect veteran homelessness, which of course can, detailed as one of THN's priorities this session. Okay, so now we're going to go. So just to go over the Homelessness Awareness Day agenda, there's going to be kind of two parts to Homelessness Awareness Day. The first will be meetings with the legislators. These are going to be based on appointments that we're expecting advocate groups to set up before the actual event on April 2nd. So that's very, very important. We don't want people to show up and not be prepared to have their appointments set up, because the more organized the event is, just the better it's going to appear. I think the more impactful it will be. So we are hoping that we've been working with those individuals who are already signed up to kind of get in groups so that they can all go together. So it really demonstrates the numbers of people who are involved with this project, which we think is going to be the best way to demonstrate how important these issues are. So you can sign up if you're interested in participating in Homelessness Awareness Day by either emailing myself at peter@THN, Samantha at THN, or our supervisor, Jennifer Paulson, at jennifer@thn.org. Any of those would work just fine. After the advocates have set up their appointments, we ask then that they send us their meeting times so that we have an idea of who's been met with, who has already heard about these issues, and then who THN might need to go in after and talk to if there are people that we think need to be contacted personally. So at the same time, on April 2nd, we're also going to be submitting calls to action to support the funding of the HHSP, other programs, and to keep people aware of bills, legislators about important bills. We have prepared some letter templates that we're going to send out. Those aren't available quite yet, but early next week we're hoping to get those ready to go. And then the expectation is people will receive the emails, and then if they aren't able to come in person, they can still send those to those legislators that we want to be contacted. And that's all I really have. We're really excited. We think it's going to be, very, very successful. It seems like it's going in that direction. So yeah, April 2nd.
So I'll let you know also on that day, April 2nd, we will be there will be a proclamation read on the House floor about declaring April 2nd Homelessness Awareness Day, and there's a lot of whereases and wherefores and therefores and whereas, so that will, I don't know if all of that will be read, but Representative Neistat will present the proclamation, and me, Lynn Scipiora, Randy Clinton, Jo Catherine Quinn, and Marilyn Brown, who are my executive committee, will all be on the floor for the reading of that resolution. So I'm pretty excited about that, and I think it's great. It brings a lot of awareness about homelessness. Now, of course, there will probably be 0 House members except for the one who's announcing it on the floor, but it's still read into the official minutes of the House. So it's a great thing. I'll open it up now to any questions. We're unmuting, and if you have questions or you want to chat about some bills or anything, or ask specific questions about Homelessness Awareness Day, chime in. I hear talking, but I'm not sure that's somebody who's talking to us.
Can somebody say something? That way we make sure we have our volume all the way up.
Terry?
We'll start calling you out.
I can hear y'all just fine. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We just wanted to make sure that we didn't have our mutes on or something.
At the close of today's recording, I will record this message. We're going to send out all materials. I'll send out links to the website and all of the materials, the sign-up forms, any emails that y'all will need. If anybody have any questions or any bills that you would like us to track in the meantime, please get those to us ASAP. We also are working on the tentative legislative agenda right now. Hopefully Samantha can get that coordinated today, and I will send it out, but I will send out the tentative as well with the email with all the materials. If there's anything else we can help y'all with, please let us know. We're here to support y'all. The more the merrier when we get down to the hill. It's what we're aiming for. So if y'all can bring some. If you bring a bus, more.
I just want to say that Marilyn Brown in Houston has rented a bus, and she's bringing several people. I'm not sure exactly how many yet, but they are bringing several from Houston, and we would love to see lots of people from around the state attend and be a part of this. It's a great thing, and it's not scary at all.
If nobody else has anything they want to add, I just wanted to ask about next month or the next time we meet, which will be in 2 months. So we have it down right now for May 21st, but that actually that week will be the week of our Case Management Institute. So we'll need to move that to either the 14th or the 28th. Does anybody have any preferred dates between those two, being the 14th or the 28th?
The 14th looks better.
Okay.
14th, okay.
Anybody else?
28th?
One for the 28th, one for the 14th.
Got 1 and 1.
Dallas will weigh in for the 14th.
Okay.
Let's
What
go.
what I'll do is I'll send out an email and get everybody's feedback on between those two dates, and then we'll just go with whichever one we have the majority for. And I know today's setup was a little bit different just because We're all sitting in one room with one mic, but it allows us to kind of have a conversation when we're doing this phone call, and so it's kind of helpful for us that are kind of putting this on. So I hope that we came through clearly and everybody heard us. And if you have anything to bring up or discuss, this still is a great forum for that. So feel free to mention anything at any time.
I really would like to make this more of a discussion time. Yeah, and I'm kind of struggling to come up with topics that you want to discuss. So when Chris sends out the email about which date you prefer, he'll also put a question in there about what topic is burning. And if we have enough time, we can. If we don't know it, we can get somebody here who does.
I can actually find that video and show them.
So if y'all want to hang on real quick, we'll show you the videos that Samantha created.
There are more than 155,000 people in Texas using housing choice vouchers. 53% of voucher holders. Housing choice vouchers.
I think it's just too much with
Seek vouchers. That's why cities like Austin have passed source of income protection. This protection prevents discrimination opportunity and helps more people find a good place to live.
Yay!
Sorry about that. I know it froze up a little bit for you guys. Hence the reason for all of us being in one room on one mic is that our bandwidth around here is getting pushed to the limit. So it's really hard for us to get those kind of media stuff out. But I'll send a link out when I do the asking about the date and also some subjects. I'll also send a link for that video out so that you can see it.
Well, if does anybody else have any anything that they would like to chat about? I know we're all busy people, so I don't want to keep you on the phone any more than necessary. If you think of specific questions about our advocacy efforts or things that you want to make sure that I know about, please email them to me, ken@thn.org, and I will be happy to let you know what's going on or add your concern about a bill to our bill tracking list.
Ken, this is Nancy Taguacta with San Antonio, Bexar County.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi. I wanted to ask, for those that are still on the line, did anybody use
I'm on a
the...
conference call. I'm still leaving a little bit.
I'm sorry, Nancy, can you say that again?
Yes, did anybody use the apps that HUD put out about the end of December for their pit count?
Now, I know the Balance of State developed an app a couple of years ago. So we used the app that we developed, but I think the HUD app was very similar to it.
Okay.
Nancy, did y'all use that one?
Ken, this is Sandra again. We did not use the HUD app because we had some problems trying to get to use it because of SSL certification.
Oh.
So I know that we tried for a couple of weeks before the point in time, and it just didn't happen.
Nancy, which app did y'all use? Did y'all try and use HUD's?
We tried to use HUD, so we sent it to our IT. I'm not a techie person, so I don't know exactly what problems we had. I do know that what we are going to be able to use it for, and again, I'm going to have to ask our IT how we're doing it. We didn't use it for the survey portion of it. Our point-in-time committee felt like we introduced it too late, again, based on the time frame that we received it or learned of it. But we will be using it for the GPS mapping purposes because up until now we've been using, yes, just paper maps with little stars and writing on them.
Like most of us. Did anybody else use that app?
Camille, did y'all use paper forms all the way, or did y'all use the Balance of State app?
Well, I am not hearing anything else.
There it is.
Oh, Camille says we use a paper app for the street count.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to look at that. I'll ask Eric to see if he heard anything out of HUD from that app and how well it was provided. Because if it's SLL standard, that's either going to be network or just different variations. We've run with ours for the last 2 years with a private developer, and it's gone through some bugs, but it was user friendly from the get-go, and it was out of our hands for him to design. So it was really easy for us to get the workings we needed in pretty fast response. So we kept it in-house. Yeah.
And we're happy to share that. I'm not sure if there is a cost involved with that, but anybody who's interested in using that app, please let Eric Samuels know or Mary Dodson, Eric at THN or Mary at THN, and they will talk with you about it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sure. Okay, I'm not hearing anything else, so y'all have a great rest of the day and keep on doing a great job. Talk to you hopefully next week when most of you are here.